5 mistakes to avoid when you're trying to create a user journey, create a story, or just trying to influence someone. User journey is a method to describe the impact you're having on someone else with your product, your idea, your service, or solution. You're likely interacting with a user, a customer, or an employee on the regular. I've been defining user journeys for years, working with both organizations and individuals, and I've seen a lot of mistakes. Let me go through my top 5 mistakes I've seen and how to avoid these pitfalls. Mistake 1, starting without a clear goal. Like baking without a recipe, if a team jumps into a journey mapping session without uncovering insights and defining what they're looking for, they're going to have problems. How to avoid this? Start with a clear objective. Keep your audience and business goals in mind. A journey map isn't an art project. It's a tool to help you improve what you're doing and how it impacts your target audience. A recent study showed only 40% of teams set out objectives before getting started with their UX journey. The good news is this is an easy mistake to avoid. The next pitfall teams run into is creating a generic or fictional personas. User journeys are based on understanding who your user really is. If that user doesn't exist, the journey map won't reflect reality. So avoid groupthink. Don't just create your user out of thin air. Really understand your target audience, who they are, what they want, what they need, how they feel, and how they're going to benefit from your product, service, idea, or solution. If you don't know that, you need to find a user and ask them by using real data, such as interviews, surveys, support tickets, and heat maps. To inform your analysis, your user journeys will reflect the persona you're trying to help. Update those personas regularly because people change, and so should your personas. And it's always helpful to include an authentic quote from a user. It brings the idea home and makes it real. And here's a fun fact. Slack recently redesigned the onboarding process based on user feedback on a confusing point. The result? A more guided experience and a 15% increase in user activation. Don't limit your user's experience by focusing only on digital touchpoints. You may be limiting the user's real end-to-end experience. So do map every click and scroll. But don't forget about what happens before they've landed on your website and what happens after they close the last tab. Think end-to-end, awareness, discovery, engagement, and post-use. Think about the emotions and the external triggers. Did they read a review? Did they call support? Did they ask a friend? Remember, don't confuse them with jargon. Delight them and surprise them with how fluid your process is. And here's a great example to follow. A nonprofit discovered that many users only landed on their donation page after speaking with a friend. So they added a referral field and saw a 10% spike in contributions. And many organizations fell into the trap of doing journey maps one time. Some teams host a big workshop, post sticky notes everywhere, take a group photo, and never look at the map again. Projects, people, and products change, and so should your journey maps. Here's my top tips. Review your journey maps quarterly or after every sprint to ensure they remain accurate and up to date. Make them digital. Use tools like Miro or Figma to revisit and update often. My pro tip, if your journey map collects more dust than insights, you're doing it wrong. Neglecting your stakeholders. Job 1 is to connect with your stakeholders, including your users, employees, and customers. Failing to align your stakeholders around a user journey is not just a lost opportunity, it's failure waiting to happen. The big mistake is that journey mapping isn't just for UX designers and project teams. It's for everyone. That includes marketing, product delivery, customer service, and the executive level. Everyone needs to understand the critical nature of these journeys, work to align the departments so they're all delivering to that journey, and share the maps and solicit feedback so continuous improvement can evolve along with customers' needs. So here's a pro tip. Ask each department to plot their version of the user journey, then compare, align, and address overlapping pain points. Doing this will give everyone a sense of purpose and make sure that every stakeholder is considered in your user journey. Okay, one last tip. Go beyond avoiding failure to reach for success. Do that by following my case study. Here, I show you the things that you need to consider when you're talking about your different personas and how that leads you to their individual user journey. You want to understand how they build awareness, gain interest, have a desire to interact with you, take action, and finally connect. To do that, you're going to need to know who they are, what they need to know, and what compels them to be part of your organization. If you want to know more about how to make a user journey and improve your process, check out these videos. See you next time on ProjectSkillsMentor.com. Bye-bye, everybody.